Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So Xbox had a major outage this weekend that was preventing people from being able to play even the single player games they already owned. And we're hearing that Final Fantasy XVI is pretty much ready to go. We have those topics and more to cover, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content on this channel. Now let's get started. First, let's take a look at this headline from VGC on Friday. Xbox downtime leaves some users unable to boot games. Now the subline on this has Microsoft servers experienced a major outage which took 12 hours to resolve. However, this outage seemed to creep back up on Saturday, as you can see from this tweet here from Xbox support. We are still working on resolving the issue. In the meantime, players may see improvement with launching games by rebooting your Xbox console. And during this outage, some players were not able to purchase games, launch games, do any cloud sessions. And obviously, if a game has an online component, I would understand the component of that being down. I could even understand Game Pass being down, the fact that it checks back in to make sure you're licensed to run that game. But people weren't even able to launch Netflix. Now, in all honesty, I didn't seem to be affected by that. I didn't have any issues all weekend, but apparently a large number of people did. And of course, most of the backlash is coming from the fact that if you have a digital copy of a game, even if it's single player, you weren't able to play it during this time if you were one of the people affected. So it seems like Microsoft needs to come up with some type of change here. I understand wanting to protect your intellectual property and prevent piracy, but they should at least allow a game to run for at least 30 days without your console talking back to Microsoft servers. Now, before you say, well, Xbox has an offline mode, it was reported by many people that this wouldn't work either. Now, maybe if you were already offline before this outage happened, it might have worked. But hopefully Microsoft will listen to some feedback here and make some adjustments for the future. Next, it's looking like Final Fantasy XVI is pretty much ready to go. Let's take a look at the headline here from Silicon Era. Final Fantasy XVI new trailer coming soon after delay, will appear soon. And the article here goes on to say Final Fantasy XVI producer Naoki Yoshida revealed a new Final Fantasy XVI trailer will appear soon. The information was shared during a special Nier Reincarnation with Final Fantasy XVI crossover livestream. Yoshida states that the new video is done and will appear soon. However, it was delayed due to certain factors. He did not elaborate as to why the debut of the trailer ended up being pushed back. However, Yoshida did go into a bit of detail regarding the development of the game. He shared that the development team has spent a fair amount of time polishing and debugging the game and that it's pretty much complete. So right now, Final Fantasy XVI doesn't have an official release date, but I do have to wonder, with the trailer being held back, if that's going to announce when it's going to be released. And we might see this at maybe Summer Game Fest. But it's not uncommon for a game to be held back. We know we recently saw Xenoblade Chronicles 3 being pretty much done and then actually getting moved up. Most likely Square is kind of calculating the best time to release this, given what else may be coming out. But it's good that they're having time to polish the game rather than trying to crunch and get it out the door and then trying to fix a whole bunch of bugs later. Next, we know that Microsoft has been wanting to put Xbox streaming on a whole bunch of devices and pretty much make it available everywhere. Well, we have this headline from VentureBeat. Xbox plans to launch a streaming puck and Samsung app in the next year. The article goes on to say, in the next 12 months, Microsoft plans to release an Xbox cloud gaming streaming device. This will likely look like an Amazon Fire Stick or perhaps a small Roku-like puck, and like a Roku, the Xbox streaming device will enable you to access movie and TV services in addition to a library of games through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. If you already have a Samsung Smart TV though, you can maybe skip a separate device entirely. Microsoft is working closely with its partners at Samsung to develop an Xbox game streaming app for that company's televisions. That too should debut within the next 12 months. Now, if Microsoft releases their own device for streaming Game Pass Cloud, it should be fairly easy to connect an Xbox controller to it. And many of your smart TVs, like Samsung mentioned here, have Bluetooth remotes. So with a simple software update to the TV, it should be fairly easy to make the controller compatible with the TV. Now, I have several Rokus in my house, and I know none of them actually have Bluetooth on them. One of them uses an IR remote, and one of them seems to use Wi-Fi. So I have to wonder if Microsoft would look at creating a special controller for these type of devices. I would imagine a game controller trying to use IR to communicate would be pretty laggy when you add that on top of the lag that you would have from streaming. It seems like this would probably be unplayable. But maybe they develop a cloud controller that the controller can talk directly back to the Microsoft Cloud servers. This would make it pretty much available to work on any type of streaming device. And finally, some of you may remember a story about the Queen of England being sent a 24 karat gold Wii. Well, it looks like that Wii has been put up for auction. This article from Eurogamer has the information. The infamous one-of-a-kind golden Wii meant for the Queen has been put up for auction. This unique promotional console was crafted by THQ back in 2009 as a stunt to launch a mediocre minigame collection. The publisher famously tried to send the console to the Queen, though it never reached her royal hands. Now that the console, arguably a piece of gaming history, has been listed on auction site Golden, as of the time of writing, the bid stands at £2,000. Now at the time of recording this video, it was up to £3,000, and we've got a few pictures here of the unit. You can see the serial number here on the back. And this isn't the first time that this was put up for auction. Someone tried to put it up on eBay for $300,000, and eBay took it down because the account that put it up didn't have much of a history of selling anything or really selling anything that big. And in case you were wondering, £3,000 is about $3,700 in the US. So if you're one who likes to collect some type of trophy case type items in gaming, you have until Saturday, May 21st to get your bid in. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we talk about catch your attention? Were you affected by the Xbox outage this weekend? And if you were, what type of things were affected for you? And what kind of devices do you think Xbox will try to put cloud streaming on? I could see it added to Rokus, Fire Sticks, Apple TV, refrigerators. Drop a comment about these topics or anything else we talked about today. I want to thank you for watching and be good.